Hi. The London 1851 knockout tournament is the first recognized international chess tournament in history. This tournament was organized by the English player Staunton. 16 strong players from Europe has been invited to participate in this tournament, including Horwitz, Henry Bird, Lowenthal, Kesaretsky, also the organizer of the tournament, Staunton. And also, another strong player, Saint Amand, was about to participate in this tournament, but he didn't participate because of his illness. So he was replaced by the less familiar Adolf Anderssen from Germany. Before this tournament, Andersen was little known in the chess world. This tournament was played in a knockout format. First player to win two games will qualify for the second round. And Staunton, the organizer of the tournament, was the biggest favorite of this tournament because he was considered as the best player in that world at that time. So, all the English fans were expecting him to win the tournament. He qualified easily for the second round by winning two games in a row. On the other hand, Anderson surprised everyone by winning two games with white and drawing one game with black against one of the potential players of the tournament, Lionel Kesaretsky. But in the second round, Anderson won his first game and lost two games in a row. But from the second round, players have to win four games to qualify to the next round. And Anderson won three games in a row to qualify to the third round. On the other hand, Staunton was fighting against Horwitz to qualify. Now we are going to look at the final game of Staunton from the second round. Don't argue too much about the openings from these games because the opening theories were not well developed at that time. Let's just enjoy the romantic era of chess and learn something from their attacking ideas and flashy combinations. In this game, Staunton played with white pieces, Horwitz played with black pieces. The English player started with the English opening and e6, nc3, f5, g3, knight f6, bg2, c6. Like I said before, don't argue too much about the openings. So d3, knight a6, a3, bishop e7, e3, castle, knight e2, knight c7, and castle. So d5, b3, queen e8, bishop b2, queen f7, rook c1, improving all the pieces. Bishop d7, e4, striking at the center. Already white finished this development, so he's striking at the center. So f takes e4, d takes e4, rook a d8, e5. Nice move, gaining more space and also threatening to win a knight. So knight e8, f4. Once again, connecting the pawns and also gaining more space. And d takes c4, pawn takes c4, bishop c5 check, king h1, bishop e3 attacking the rook, rook b1, g6, and queen b3. Actually, the idea behind g6 is I think black is trying to improve his knight. So bishop c8, protecting b7 pawn. Now, the best move is knight e4. Actually, white is centralizing the knight and also aiming at these weak squares. So bishop b6, rook d1, fighting for the open file, knight a6, preventing c5, queen c3. Again, white is threatening to play c5. So rook takes d1, rook takes d1, and knight c5, knight d6. So white's knight occupies the best square. And obviously, trading this knight is not a good idea in this position because after pawn takes d6, it's already game over. So for knight d6, queen c7, queen c2, knight g7. Now black is trying to improve his knight. Okay. Now, what's the best move for white? Yeah, we have a lot of moves in this position, but this move is my favorite. Staunton played g4. He's preventing knight f5. He's not allowing his opponent to improve his pieces. So queen e7, and bishop d4. Slowly is improving his pieces. Queen c7 and a4. Now the threat is to play a5 and winning this knight. So Horwitz played knight a6 and still c5, bishop a5, queen b3, shifting this queen to the kingside attack. So b6, knight e4, b takes c5, first knight f6 check, king h8, again queen h3, threatening checkmate. So knight e8, and Staunton played bishop d4, a beautiful idea. Actually, he's threatening to play Rook d7, interfering this support. So knight takes f6, almost only move. Pawn takes f6, now threatening f7 check. So king g8, bishop e5. Already white is completely winning in this portion. White is clearly dominating. So queen b7, bishop e4, Staunton coordinating all of his pieces. Queen f7, knight g1. Once again, a beautiful move. He's trying to involve all the pieces into the attack. We have a lot of moves in this portion, but this is my favorite because he's threatening to play knight f3 and knight g5, and he's involving all the pieces into the attack. So bishop d8 threatening to win the pawn, d5, bb7, knight f3, rook e8, and bishop d6. Once again, he's clearing this square for his knight. So it's already over. So here, Horwitz sacrificed one of his piece to open up the position. But anyway, it's completely losing. After queen takes f6 first, knight g5. Again, he's threatening queen f7 checkmate, queen h7 checkmate. So queen g7, bishop e5, queen e7. After bishop takes g6, Horwitz resigned because now h takes g6 is not possible because of queen h8 checkmate. And also, white is threatening to play bishop h7, king f8, queen h6, queen g7, queen b7 checkmate. So Staunton won this game in a beautiful way and qualified to the third round. But in the third round, Adolf Anderssen surprised everyone by beating Staunton 3 games in a row. Now we are going to look at the third game. In this game, Adolf Anderssen played with white pieces, Staunton black. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, Scotch opening, e takes d4, bishop c4, Scotch gambit. So bishop c5, and Anderson castled, d6, c3, knight f6, c takes d4, bishop b6, knight c3. Anderson developed his pieces faster. So bishop g4, bishop e3, protecting the pawn on d4 because now knight is in pin. Castle, a3, queen e7, queen b3, staying away from the pin. He's not worried about doubling his pawns. So bishop takes f3, g takes f3, queen d7. Okay, what can we play now? Yeah, Staunton threatening to play queen h3. So the best move is king b2. And Staunton played knight h5. Now, once again, the best move for white is knight e2. He's shifting his pieces to the king side to protect his king. Knight e7 and knight g3, knight takes g3, and obviously h takes g3, opening up h file for the rook. So Staunton played d5, striking at the center. Obviously, taking this pawn is not a good idea because this knight will dominate the position and also d pawn will be weak. But in this position, we have good center control with these pawns. So Anderson played bishop a2. So rook a d8, threatening to win a pawn after pawn takes e4. So rook at d1, improving his rook and also defending the pawn. c6, and what can we play here? Rook h1. We are making use of this semi-open file. So we are slowly Anderson is improving his attack. So knight g6, and once again the best move, rook h5, and d takes e4, pawn takes e4, queen g4, threatening to win this rook. There's no problem for white. Rook d h1. He's doubling the rooks and improving his attack. Now Staunton played a beautiful move here. Rook takes d4. Now bishop takes d4 is not possible because of knight f4 check, and also it's a knight fork. Then black will win the queen. But Anderson played a beautiful move. Queen c3. So from c3, it can ion g7 indirectly, so it will be helpful for the attack. And here, obviously, he has to move the rook because it's under attack now. So Staunton played rook takes e4 and rook takes h7, threatening checkmate. And there's only one difference in this position. Can you find it? Yeah, black cannot play f6 because this pawn is in pin. And also, knight e5 is not possible because of rook h8 checkmate. Even rook e5 is not possible because of Queen takes e5, knight takes e5, and rook h8 checkmate. So there's only one defense. Staunton found it. It's bishop d4. So after bishop d4, I think he didn't find the good follow up. I think he already gave up in this position. That is a good defense for black in this position. Can you find it? Yeah, actually, Staunton played rook takes d4, which is a blunder. Only defense for black in this position is knight f4 check. Yeah. Now only move is king g1 and queen d1 check. Again, only move is king h2 and queen takes d4. So this is completely fine for black. Obviously, white cannot win this position, but white can try to make a draw in this position. But Staunton completely missed it, and he played rook takes d4, and now we can win material in a forcing way. Can you find it? Yeah, it's rook h4. It's a brilliant move. Only move, knight takes h4, and again, rook takes h4. Now white is winning material. So Staunton sacrificed his queen, but this position is completely hopeless for. He played few more moves, and Staunton resigned. So after queen g4, Staunton losing one of his rooks, so he resigned. After losing 3 games in a row against Anderssen, Staunton gave a comeback in the fourth game with white pieces. And again in the fifth game, Anderson played with white pieces, and Staunton played with black pieces. E4, E6 French defense, D4, G6, C5, C3, C takes D4, C takes D4, Queen B6. Already Staunton is 2 points behind, so he's trying things desperately in this game, which is not a good thing, obviously. So Queen takes B2. Anderson just sacrificed his pawn and focused on his development. Already Anderson finished his development and ready to castle. So Rook C1, Knight A6, and B5, Bishop F8, protecting D6 square, castle. Already Anderson finished his development. His king is safe. All of his pieces are well developed actually. They have good coordination. D6, D5, discover attack to the queen, Queen A5, Bishop D4 threatening to win the rook, E5, and Bishop C3. Queen D8. Now F4, making use of this pin. And also, when you have huge lead in development, it's better to open up the position. Also, still Max king is in the center, so opening up the position is the good idea here. So f4, f6, f takes e5, f takes e5, and queen a4, threatening a double check. So bishop d7, winning the knight. First, bishop b4, adding more pressure on d6 pawn. Knight h6, king h1, avoiding unnecessary checks like queen b6. And knight f7, queen a3, threatening to win the pawn on d6. Knight c5 was played by Staunton. Okay, what can we play here? Yeah, knight takes d6. Check. It's a sacrifice because we can gain the piece immediately. Now the materials are equalized, but still white's pieces are very active. White is doing great in this position, but black's king stuck in the center. Bishop takes c5, queen takes c5, queen e7, queen c7. Obviously, trading queens is not a good idea in this position because we have good development. So knight d6, queen a5, clearing the square for the rook, h5, rook c7, rook f8, and rook a c1, doubling the rooks. Okay, now can you find the best move for white? Yeah, it's a brilliant move. Knight d4. Anderson involving his knight into the attack. Obviously, capturing this knight will finish the game immediately. For example, white can just play e5 and e6 is coming. White takes this pawn, rook e1. And if knight e4, obviously bishop takes e4, but not rook takes e4 because after rook takes e4, it's losing for white. Queen takes e4, bishop takes e4, and rook f1 checkmate. So bishop takes e4, and now we are threatening bishop f3 or bishop d3. We are going to win the queen. Also, black's king is not safe. So this is completely winning for white. So Staunton didn't take this knight. He just played rook c8 and knight e6. This bishop is in pin. So knight e6, rook takes c7, rook takes c7, and rook f7. Queen b6, rook f6, h3, clearing back rank. Now it's time to gain material because our pieces are well positioned. It's time to gain some material. Queen b2, threatening to win. Queen e5, knight b5, bishop takes b5, a takes b5, and queen takes e5. h4, rook takes b7, rook f1 check, king h2, queen f6, trying to trade queens. Now, can you find a forcing checkmate for white? Yeah, rook b8 check, king e7, d6 check, king f7 only move, and rook f8 check, only move. Rook takes f6 check, rook takes f6, queen takes g5 check, and it's a forcing checkmate. So Anderson won this game in a spectacular way and qualified to the final round. In the final round, Anderson played against Weiwel. Now we are going to look at the seventh game of the final round. Anderson won this game effortlessly in a beautiful way. In this game, Anderson played with white pieces e4, c5, Brazilian defense, bishop c4, a6, a4, knight c6, knight c3, e6, d3, g6, knight g e2. Obviously, Anderson mainly focusing on his development. So bishop g7, castle, knight g e7, f4, castle, bishop d2, d5, striking at the center, bishop b3, knight d4, and knight takes d4, bishop takes d4 check, king h1. Here, black played bishop d7, and Anderson played e takes d5, threatening to win a pawn. So here, Weiwel played bishop takes c3 to save a pawn, and bishop takes c3, e takes d5. Once again, not a great move. Okay, now can you find the best move for white? Yeah. So material wise, this portion is equal, but black is missing his dark square bishop, but black has lot of dark square weakness. So it's a beautiful move. Bishop 6, pinning this knight and also taking control of the dark squares. So black played bishop e6. Now once again, can you find the finishing blow? Yeah, here Anderson played a beautiful move. H5. It's a brilliant sacrifice. And after bishop takes f5, rook takes f5, d takes f5, queen h5. Already it's completely losing for black. Queen d6, trying to escape from the pin. There's no point. It's already game over after queen f6. Now the checkmate is unstoppable, so black gave up his queen and he resigned. The less familiar Adolf Anderssen surprised everyone by winning the first international chess tournament. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something useful. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.